The movie starts with our mischievous and lazy cat, Garfield, who wakes up to the sound of an alarm. He promptly gets his owner, John, out of bed to ensure he gets his breakfast on time. When John prepares breakfast, Garfield sneakily swaps their plates and devours John's meal instead. Satisfied, Garfield heads out to meet his friend Nermal. As Garfield and Nermal spot a milk truck, they see a man carrying a bottle of milk. Garfield initially hesitates to drink the milk, but then tricks Nermal and drinks it all himself. Afterward, Garfield's attention shifts to some food he sees nearby, and he sneaks over to get it. Here, he meets a dog named Odie, and manages to trick him too, running off with the food alongside Nermal. Later, Garfield sneaks back into John's house, where a mouse is causing trouble. Garfield attempts to catch the mouse, scolding it. "I've told you so many times not to come in front of John. If he sees you, he'll tell me to catch you, and I'll have to get rid of you." Just then, John steps outside, and Garfield quickly hides the mouse in his mouth. Once John is gone, Garfield spits the mouse out and returns to watching his favorite TV show, featuring a man named Chapman who is tired of working with cats and wants something different. Meanwhile, John realizes Garfield has eaten all the food and decides to take him to Dr. Liz Wilson, the vet, to check on him. While there, Liz gives John a dog, explaining that if the dog stays caged, it might not survive. She suggests John keep the dog and promises they can walk it every Sunday. John is delighted and agrees. When Garfield returns home, he is shocked to see a dog sitting in his spot. He immediately tells John that a dog has mistakenly entered their house and insists John throw it out. John explains that the dog's name is Odie and that he will be staying with them. Garfield is very annoyed and tells John to get rid of the dog. The next day, as usual, Garfield sneaks out to steal milk and tries to blame it on Odie. However, Garfield tricks Odie and drinks the milk himself, which makes Odie angry, and he chases after Garfield. They run until they reach a garden where a big dog named Luca is off his chain. Just as Luca is about to attack Garfield, Odie distracts him by licking him, saving Garfield from a dangerous situation. Garfield's friends then tell him that he shouldn't be mean to Odie, because if it weren't for him, Garfield would have been in Luca's belly. The next day, Garfield tries to sit with Odie, but ends up pushing him away. They start dancing together, and Odie dances along happily. Just then, Liz arrives and takes Odie with John, leaving Garfield feeling left out. Nermal teases Garfield, suggesting that John likes Odie more now, and that Garfield might soon be kicked out just like him. Upset by this, Garfield sneaks into John's car, and they all head to a park where a dog show is being held, with Liz as one of the judges. At the dog show, everyone admires Odie's performance, and he wins by dancing impressively. Garfield, feeling neglected, returns home and messes up the house, causing John to put him outside. As John sleeps, Garfield hears Odie whining outside and tricks him into staying outside while Garfield sneaks back inside to sleep. Odie, now locked out, tries to open the door but fails. He spots a food delivery guy and starts chasing him, running so far that he gets lost and ends up in front of an unknown house. The owner finds Odie and takes him inside. The next morning, John realizes Odie is missing and starts searching for him, but he is nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Chapman, who is tired of working with cats, sees a missing poster for Odie and decides to take him. John and Liz, realizing their mistake, begin searching for Odie. Garfield, watching TV, sees Chapman's show featuring Odie and learns that Chapman plans to take Odie to New York. Garfield rushes to tell John, but John doesn't pay attention. By the time John finally checks the TV, the show is ended, and the show ends before John can see Odie. Garfield tries to explain, but John doesn't understand. Determined, Garfield decides to rescue Odie himself. He hops on a bus and heads to the building where Chapman is recording his show. On the way, Garfield encounters many challenges, including a bunch of mice who try to bully him. However, his friend Louie arrives and scares the mice away, declaring that Garfield is his friend. Louie then helps Garfield by taking him to the telegraph tower. They sneak across the road and reach the tower, where Garfield accidentally falls into the room where Odie is locked up in a cage. Just as Garfield is trying to free Odie, Chapman enters, forcing Garfield to hide. Chapman then gives Odie electric shocks to make him perform tricks, which infuriates Garfield. Garfield tries to escape with Odie, but he is caught by animal control and placed in a cage. Meanwhile, John and Liz search everywhere for their pets and learn from an old lady that Chapman took Odie. Realizing the gravity of the situation, they hurried to find him. At the Animal Control Center, Garfield is placed in a cage. Suddenly, a family looking to adopt a cat accidentally opens all the cages, allowing the animals to escape. Garfield and the others make their way to the telegraph tower. John arrives at the tower and is told by a secretary that Chapman has gone to the train station. Garfield races to the train station and sees Odie on a departing train. He quickly runs to the train control room and manages to stop all the trains. He boards the train and rescues Odie, but as they try to escape, Chapman spots them and gives chase. Chapman catches up to them, but just as he grabs Odie, a horde of animals arrives and attacks him. John and Liz arrive just in time and embrace their pets. They all head home together, and the movie ends on a happy note, with John, Liz, Garfield, and Odie safely back at home. So friends, how did you like this story? Let us know in the comments.